Welcome to Booked, Busy, and Building, the podcast for dreamers, doers, and everyday people making it happen. Whether you're building a business, a mindset, or a better version of yourself, this is your space to stay grounded, get inspired, and keep growing no matter how full your calendar gets. So if you're chasing your dreams and figuring it out as you go, this is your space to stay motivated and keep building. So tune in every week for new episodes. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Booked, Busy, and Building. Today, we are going to be talking all about entering your selfish era and why this is actually not a bad thing. In fact, I would actually say that this is one of the most important things that you can genuinely do for yourself, especially as we enter the next half of the year. Like, we're already in June, which is insane. I really want to talk about this because I feel like we have been so conditioned, especially me, to think that putting ourselves first is wrong, or that it's rude, or that it makes us a bad sibling, a bad child, a bad person, a bad friend, like whatever it may be. Especially me as an oldest daughter coming from a Hispanic family, I even more so think that when you put yourself first, it's like you're selfish. You don't want to help this person. You don't want to do that. The truth is, like, when you are pouring into everybody else's cup but yourself and yours is still empty, then that can possibly be the reason why maybe you're being held back from what it is that you want and what it is that you want to accomplish. So in today's episode, I really want to dive into why it's time to stop people pleasing, how to stop focusing on everything that is all around you, and how to truly start showing up for yourself every single day. And I feel like this is an episode that I definitely needed for myself, but let's dive in. Let's start talking. So first, before we dive into today's episode, we are going to do our weekly Booked, Busy, and Building check-in, which is 3 things to ask yourself at the beginning of every episode. So number 1 is, what opportunities are you stepping into this week and how are you staying booked? I'm shooting my shot even if I don't know the outcome. Like, this is something that I'm really hardcore focusing on, especially as we are now entering, like I said, the later half of the year. I am someone that, I think I've mentioned this in previous episodes, like I really like to be by the book and I like to do things the way that it's supposed to be, but sometimes you just have to go out there, push against the norm, and try something new even if you don't know what the outcome is going to be. And so I want to just continue to shoot my shot, do some cold outreach on LinkedIn, send the email, and just reach out to people and brands and things, even if I don't know what is going to happen, because you truly never know what could come from you just putting yourself out there. And people do not know who you are or what you do if you are not out there rooting for yourself and being your number one fan. So I just really want to start channeling that energy and like really stepping into, I'm just going to go out there and do it. Number 2 is, what is taking up your time and energy right now and what is keeping you busy? So if you guys follow me over on TikTok or Instagram, then you may know that I am relaunching my social media summer camp. We are entering year 2. And if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, last year, the city hall reached out to me in my town and was like, do you want to host a summer camp? Do you want to do something social media related? And over the last couple of years, the Division of Recreation had been asking me if I wanted to do something, and I just never really knew how to do it. Like, I didn't know if I was good enough to do it. I didn't know how I would even do it. Like, there were just so many questions that I had that were kind of up in the air. And last year, I finally decided I'm just going to do it. I'm going to try something new, see what could happen. And I had never seen anything like this before. So I was like, let me do it. So I started a social media summer camp for kids in my hometown for grades 6 through 12. It was so amazing last year. Like I said, it was my first time ever doing something like that, where I'm literally hosting a 2-week program, 2 hours a day, every day. And it was so cool. My sister helped me put it together. We had some brands sponsor it for a last day of camp gift bag. We were also featured in Forbes. Like, it was just so cool, so iconic. And this year we're bringing it back. So on Sunday, I had a 2-hour brainstorm, brain dump session with my sister, and we went to a local cafe. We talked about all these different ideas and activities and things it is that we want to do to really up it this year. I've also been having meetings with brands to see how they can also get involved to really elevate the experience for kids. And so I'm very excited because, again, like, this is not something that I ever thought would be like part of what I do. I never would have thought posting TikToks or doing things on social media would lead me to now doing things with kids, but I absolutely love kids. I love just helping other people and like giving them access to my resources and what I do and what I know, and like bringing people into my world. So I'm so excited. Like, that is literally taking out all of my time and energy right now. And lastly, what are you intentionally building and working towards for your future self and building? So I'm continuing to build up on my personal curriculum, my personal learnings. And if you guys are not following or subscribed to my personal YouTube channel, I have been posting weekly vlogs and just weekly like educational, self-development, fun, personal content. And one of the videos that I posted, I think now 2 weeks ago, was building a personal curriculum because I want to be smart again. I want to learn. I want to really get back into that academic era because there are so many things that I'm interested in and that I really want to learn about, and that I just feel like having a curriculum and really setting up this specific like study space and a notebook and buying textbooks or buying books that are going to help me learn more about whatever it is that I want can be a really good stepping stone towards, again, like doom scrolling less, being on my phone less, and just really trying to educate myself more, especially in things that I'm really interested in. So that is currently something that I'm working towards for my future self, because even though I'm a content creator, even though I post on social media, I think it's great to also have something on the side that's like not related to being on my phone or technology, and learning and just really soaking in like new things that I don't know and really tapping into things that I'm super interested in but I've never had the time to sit down and learn is something that I am so excited to be doing. Getting right into it, tip number 1 is stop treating other people's opinions like it's gonna pay your bills. When you are constantly living for validation, for the likes, for the comments, for the approval of others, you are basically handing over the keys to your own life. It's like you get your dream car and then instead of driving it, like you give it to somebody else and you're like, you take the wheel, you go and start the drive, and like I'm just gonna sit back and let you do it. Like, why on earth would you want to do that? You've worked so hard all of these years to just hand that off to somebody else. It's like it literally makes no sense. So other people's opinions, what other people think, what they're saying, that is not your business, and whether you find out about it or not, or you see it or not, just let it be. I have gotten super weird comments on my TikTok. I've heard comments from people in my own life, in my personal life, from social media, like whatever. Like, I have probably seen and heard it all. I just don't let that do anything to me. I don't let it affect me. Of course I have my days. I'm human. Of course I'm obviously some days going to be sad, some days going to be happy, especially if I'm on my period or not. Like, you literally never know, but it is not going to be something that I'm going to use to decide how am I going to feel today, or is this going to be the blueprint of my life, or I need this person's validation in order to move forward. Like, no. You can just hear it, you can know about it, and you just move on with your life. And if you really think about it for a second, think to yourself, like, who are you making decisions for? You need to be putting yourself first, because if you are only buying something or doing something because of how others are going to perceive you, then that is where we need to take it back a notch. And I feel like a great example of this is with money. A lot of people think when you get money, you should be shelling out on designer items, the Chanel bag, the Prada shoes, or etc. But it's like, of course, you know, maybe that looks cool, or maybe you feel a little bit cooler, but in reality, it's about your energy and your confidence and how you show up every day. It's not about impressing other people. And if you are simply buying something because you want other people to perceive you that specific way, then again, like, you're doing it all wrong. And of course, I had so many of those moments when I was first making my own money from social media. Like, I was like, I want to buy designer bags, I want to go on vacations and this, that. And I don't regret any of that stuff because it's now led me to who I am today. And of course, I love a good Chanel bag. I love a nice pair of like designer something. I'm now doing it because I genuinely love it. Like, I went to college for fashion. I've always been obsessed with fashion and craftsmanship and certain brands like Jacquemus, and I love that. I've always have for years. And so when I buy it, I'm like, I know why I'm buying this. I'm not buying it because I'm dying to post it on Instagram. Like, you can do whatever you want with your money. You could do whatever you want with whatever it is that you want to get, but it's about the intention of why you are doing it. Why are you doing this specific thing? Make sure that it's not because you want to impress other people or you want them to think, oh my God, this girl is so rich, this girl is so well off, she travels all the time, she has no job. Like, do it because you actually want to. Every time you shrink yourself or you're in certain situations because you want to make somebody else feel comfortable, you are again just practicing the habit of putting other people before you, putting other people's opinions before yourself. So get comfortable with the idea of, I'm going to be misunderstood. I am going to not have people understand what it is that I'm doing. The people that are doing the coolest or most out of this world things, or even just the people simply like point blank period, achieving their dreams, whatever it may be, whether it's big or small, those people and those kinds of people are always going to be misunderstood. And I have a really great example actually from today. When I got back from the gym, I started listening to a podcast episode that had literally just came out like 2 minutes prior. It was Jackie Aina on the Emma Grade podcast, and she was talking about making beauty content despite her background and her family's opinions and them wanting her to go towards, I think it was like the medical field or something. And she was like, I don't want to do that. And it's like she had to get used to the fact that people are going to misunderstand her, even if it's her own family. She's still going to go out there and do what it is that she wants to do. Yeah, she was in the military. She still loved makeup. Yeah, she was doing this, and that. She still loved beauty. She was still posting videos. It's like, even if people around you or even the people closest to you are going to have a certain opinion, just keep doing your own thing, because you never know where you could be. And this applies even to me when I first started on social media. Like, I was embarrassed because I didn't want people to make fun of me. And I was like, if someone sees this TikTok, if someone has this come up on their For You page, or if they see me trying to be an influencer, I'm afraid that they're going to say something. But it's like those same people that I was afraid of saying something are now back in my DMs saying, how did you do this? How did you do that? I want to be an influencer, XYZ. So it's like, if I would have never posted, not only would I not be where I am today, but it's like I could have let that potential fear stop me from all the things it is that have happened to me up until this point. So whatever you choose to do, just do it regardless of whether people get it or not. Tip number 2 is protect your energy, because it is an asset. You only have so much mental energy, emotional energy, physical energy, and you only have so much of it in a day. You need to be putting it where it's actually worth it. If you're giving it away carelessly to people or stupid situations or things that are just not worth it, and especially into people and situations where it's not being returned, you got to start putting it somewhere better. And I really didn't start stepping into my fullest, truest, most potential self until more towards like beginning/end of college. Like, those 4 years were super pivotal for me, because in the beginning I was trying to hold on to certain things, and by the time I got to the end of college, I was like, it is just not worth it to have these certain people or continue to be in these certain situations. And it's like, you are literally losing your own energy, you're losing your own time, and that potential could be used for something even better. Those hours that I would spend talking with a friend about the same situation over and over again, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I started putting that time into building my own dreams and my own goals. Start noticing, like, who is draining you, who is taking up your time and energy, what is actually building you up versus what is just taking that out of you. I have been to many hangouts with people where I'm like, I don't like this, I don't feel good after. And I have the other hangouts where I'm like, I loved this so much, I needed this girls' night, I needed this night because I feel so much better and so much happier. And it's like, sometimes I have so much fun, I literally end up losing my voice the next day because I'm like, I was laughing so hard, I was yelling, I was screaming. Like, those are the moments where I'm like, life is worth living, it's so fun. And when you don't notice like who is taking up your energy and like who is genuinely there to support you and help fill your cup, then this is awareness that can literally like change everything for you. And when I noticed this and I started cutting those people off or started hanging out with those people less, genuinely, so many things in my life started to flourish. And it's okay when you want to say no to something. It's okay to not have a super paragraph long explanation for whatever it is that you don't want to do. Like, if you don't want to do something, then don't do it. And this is something that I started learning over the last couple of months, especially because as a content creator, I feel like even more people want to use you. People want your resources. They want your access. And while there is nothing wrong with that, it's also like, how is this person approaching you? If you have people that are only asking you for this person's email, or they want to get this brand new, or how did you do that, then it's like, if that's all they're asking you for, I don't think that's the right person to be in your life, obviously, or I don't even think that person is worth the time or energy. But it's like, there are the genuine people out there. You can see they're hustling, they're grinding, they're waking up every day, and they're committed to what it is that they want to do. But you can really tell the real ones from the fake ones. Like, you can literally spot it from a mile away. And I really started to flourish when I noticed, like, this person is asking me because they genuinely want it. This person is just asking because they just want the easy way out. They want a cheat code. They want to know how How can I do something to get rich quick? How can I get easily put into this world? But it's like things take years for a reason. There is a reason why people don't pop off until 10 years, why people don't pop off until 2 decades later, 3 decades later, 4, 5, 7, 10, 12 businesses later, because things take time, and every single one of those things teaches you a lesson. When you would rather spend your time hanging out with this certain person or not hanging out with this person, or maybe staying home to film a YouTube video or do this, do that, it's okay. Like, learn to say no. And when I started putting my foot down and I started saying no to people and things and situations, I felt so much better afterward, because I was like, I don't now need to spend my time doing this. Like, if I don't want to do it, I'm simply going to say no. Same thing with influencer events. I'm not going to as many as how I did during the first 2-3 years of being a content creator, because now not every single event is worth your time. Not every single event is worth your energy. And it's not to say that you are better than that company or the people going there, but it's like, also, I live in New Jersey. So for me to trek all the way into New York, it's like, I want to go because it's actually worth it. Like last week, I got invited to the Morgan Stanley office for a founders forum. That was such a good event, and I'm so happy that I went because I met such incredible people. I made great connections. I went to the Morgan Stanley headquarters for the first time. It was a founder focused event. I met other founders versus going to another event that maybe is not as worth it to just get a free bag of makeup and go home, or get a free bag of whatever it is that they're giving. So it's like, I'm really now being super picky and choosy, because not only is it my business, but it's also my life and my time and my energy. And so when you are living your day-to-day lives, make sure that you have your non-negotiables. You have the things that are like, this is what I'm going to pour into for myself today, whether it is your workout or maybe quiet reading time or maybe going on a walk, whatever it may be. Don't do anything else that is distracting during these times. Like, don't scroll for the first half of your day. Try going to the gym without being on social media or whatever it may be. Like, you cannot be pouring from an empty cup. You cannot be giving all these people their energy or things it is that they want if you yourself are literally at zero. So you refilling yourself and you refilling your own cup, it's not selfishness. Like, you are literally just getting yourself ready and putting yourself first finally. Number 3 is stop watching everybody else's highlight reel and get obsessed with your own lane. One of the best things that you can do for yourself, probably the best tip of this entire episode, is going to be start becoming obsessed with yourself. Start becoming obsessed with your life and what you're doing, who you're becoming, what you're going towards. And the reason why is because that is how you are going to get to where it is that you want to be. That's how people get from point A to point B. That's how the people that you look up to, role models, influencers, creators, celebrities, athletes, whatever it may be, that is literally how they get to where it is that they want to be. For example, Mr. Beast, if you go and watch his interviews, or if you go and like watch his really old content, he was obsessed with YouTube. And he might be a little bit of a more extreme case, but it's true that it literally ended up working. Now he is about to hit, I think, 400 million subscribers. He gets millions of views on his videos. Everybody knows him, but it's like he was obsessed with YouTube and the algorithm and studying videos and making it better and better. And that was his entire world. Same thing with Kobe Bryant. He would wake up earlier to shoot 100 times. He would do multiple workouts, not just once a day. He was really wanting to be better every single day. So it's like these people that are obsessed with what they're doing or obsessed with their craft are obsessed for a reason, because they want to be better than who they were yesterday. They want to be even 1% better than what they knew yesterday. So it's like, if you can start doing that with yourself and your goals and your dreams, you are genuinely going to become unstoppable. Comparison and distraction and looking at what other people are doing, that is literally taking up your time and convincing you that you're behind. You are not at this point because this person just got this. Oh, this person's 26, they just bought their first house. This person's 23, they just got their third dog. Like, I don't know, whatever it is, like, you are not behind. You are just not focused enough on what it is that you are doing. The moment you stop looking sideways or this way or on social media or someone's story or someone's reel, the minute you literally just focus back into yourself and what it is that you are doing is the moment that everything can change. And I think I've mentioned this before in other episodes, but I literally have a quote on my phone that is like, it takes years, then it happens all at once. And I am starting to see that for people that are in my niche and my mutuals and people that I follow. I would see them post for years. I've been mutuals with them for years. And then they do one thing that pops them off. They do one thing after years of work and trying and getting up and posting and flopping and doing it all again. Like, they learn. And it's like, let's not even call it flopping, because you learn learn from all of those moments. If I have a YouTube video that doesn't do that well, let me rewatch it over and over again and see where might someone have dropped off. Why didn't this video pick up? Why did this video do well? And it's like, I'm going to keep using that research to be better and better and better. And you can use that same habit or that same structure with yourself. What works? What doesn't? Do you prefer to wake up early in the morning and work out, or do you prefer to do it after work? Like, figure out what works for you and your routine, because your life is not going to look like somebody else's. And I've seen so many TikToks of people talk about this as well, where they're like, if you were to get what somebody else has, would you even be happy? Would you even be ready? Would you even want that right now? Like, a lot of us think that we want all of these things right now, the $1 million in the bank account, the successful business, this, that. And not to bring up the Jackie Aina episode again, but I think it's a really great example to listen and watch that, because she brings up something about starting her business. She had been a content creator for many years. She still is, but she just recently, within the last few years, started her like beauty line called Forever Mood. And I believe it's like perfumes and candles and like scent related things. And something that she said that was so interesting that I loved is like, she thought, oh, it was going to be easy. And they, I think, had like 6 month worth of product that sold out immediately. So now she's like, what do we do? What do we do for this? What do we do for that? And it's like, immediately you think, oh my God, this is what I want. And then you're met with this and this and that. And I'm not saying that to be like, now you can't go after your dreams, or now you can't go after your goals because something bad is going to happen. It's like, it's not that. It's that a lot of us want these things so bad, but are we ready for when it comes? You want the 6-figure brand deals. Do you know how to manage money? Do you know how to save aside for taxes? You want the 100,000 views on your videos? Are you prepared to reply to every comment? Are you prepared for if there's backlash or hate? Like, you need to be ready for when these things come, but at the same time, sometimes you're not going to be ready when it happens. That's fine, but you can start preparing for that right now. If you want to eventually build a successful business, whether it's a L'Oreal or an Estee Lauder or whatever it may be, start reading up on these businesses right now. Start taking notes, start doing research, and start putting yourself in that world, so when the moment does come, you're ready. Because again, it will take years and it's going to happen all at once. You need to unfollow, you need to mute, you need to limit the things that are distracting you or things that make you feel less than, and start putting your time and your energy towards where it is a lot more intentional. Curate your environment to be more intentional, whether it's locking your phone away or even having a water bottle at your desk so you could drink more water. Like, whatever it takes to get to where it is that you want to be or to achieve your goals, start doing that thing. Your path does not have a deadline. Your life does not have this final deadline. It's like, you have time to do what it is that you want to do, but also move with urgency. Like, take all this energy that you have and start actually moving it towards where it is that you want to be. And instead of looking at what other people have and saying, why not me, or why don't I have this, start saying, what can I learn from this? What can I do to apply myself to this and really get what it is that I want? How can I take this as motivation and use it to be like, maybe I can do this. I can get to where it is that I want to be. Let me start now. Last but not least, tip number 4. Also, I'm so sorry if you hear something in the back. My camera and like my entire computer just overheated, and it was like, please cool down before you start recording again. So we're back. It's been like 10 minutes, but tip number 4, start treating yourself like someone that is worth investing into. So being in your selfish era means you believe in your goals, you believe in your growth, and your time actually matters. Like, whatever it may be it is that you want to accomplish, you can actually do it. Whether this means spending money on yourself, spending time on yourself, and taking your own dreams as seriously as you take everything else. And this can even be as simple as maybe upgrading what is currently in your life, like getting a new journal for your goals, or getting a new water bottle to increase your water intake if you want to focus on health. Like, whatever it may be, you can do small changes for really big upgrades and really big things in your life. It can be anything. It doesn't even have to be spending money, but it can even be changing up your routine to make sure that it's more similar to the person that it is that you want to become. So post the video in your draft, start the business, send the cold email, and stop waiting for permission to invest in yourself and your future. For example, last weekend, I started sending out emails for an interview series that I'm relaunching on my blog as well as my newsletter. And it's like, I am not going to keep waiting for someone else to come and build my dreams or do the thing it is that I want. I know there's no cheat code. I know that there is not going to be an easy way to get to where it is that I want, but I just have to start. Talk to yourself and cheer yourself up. boost yourself up like the way you would anybody else. If your best friend or your sister or your mom or boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever it is came to you and started talking down on themselves, start talking to yourself like how you would lift them up. And when you catch yourself having these negative thoughts like saying, oh, I'm broke, I don't have money, or I'm poor, immediately catch yourself in that act and say no. Try to turn it around and really make yourself feel and believe, I am not these beliefs. I am not these limiting things that I may think about myself. Show up for yourself consistently. Show up for your goals the same way you would do if somebody else was there waiting for you, if somebody else was counting on you, because somebody is, and it is literally your future self. Your future self is begging you right now to lock in because of all of the potential and all the things it is that can and will happen and that are waiting to unfold. But it's like you just need to lock in. Like the you right now just needs to start. So being selfish means you are choosing growth over comfort, even if it is going to be a little bit inconvenient. Like, for example, how are you going to grow if you are not doing things differently? How are you going to be extraordinary when you aren't even doing the ordinary a little bit extra? Wake up a little bit earlier, even if you don't normally do. Swap out the doom scrolling for a book. Put on a podcast instead of music. Like, make small changes and big things can occur. Entering your selfish era is not about becoming cold or untouchable or unkind. It is literally just deciding you and your life and your goals and dreams, all of these things matter and it is worth fighting for. It is about pouring into yourself so that everything that you do from now on is guaranteed to get you further than where you were yesterday or even where you were today. Thanks for tuning in to Booked, Busy, and Building, where we keep it real, stay growing, and are always showing up for ourselves. Remember that you're not behind, you're in the middle of becoming, so keep building what matters, and the life you want is already yours. And until next time, stay booked, stay busy, and keep building.